And we are back here at Zaxby's in Martin, Tennessee for yet another episode of Skyhawk Sports Talk here on the Skyhawk Sports Network. Gregory here with Chris Brinkley, a jam-packed show of 5 guests coming on and joining us this week.
Wow.
Chris, we're full.
Yeah.
We're full
Yeah.
yet again on this show. Going to be a fun one.
And the homecoming show was fantastic,
Yes.
so this is going to be even better.
Every single week we set a new bar, and we
Okay.
have to continue to climb on. This show has big expectations right now. Big expectations. Want to get into this weekend Skyhawk athletics. First for rodeo, they will be at Southern Arkansas in Magnolia, Arkansas, Thursday through Saturday. Rifle will be up against Akron in Murray, Kentucky. That'll be on Friday. Volleyball has their conference home opener against Morehead State at 6 p.m. on Friday, and that'll be on ESPN Plus. And they'll play the Eagles again at 2 p.m. on Saturday on ESPN Plus. We'll have head coach Jaclynn Wilson and also Dylan Sulcer joining us on this podcast. Soccer, they'll have Lindenwood at home at 2 p.m. on Sunday, ESPN Plus for that one as well. And football on the road at Western Illinois, 3 p.m. on Saturday, that on ESPN Plus and the Skyhawk Sports Network. Make sure to tune in for all of those, Chris.
Yep.
We're about ready to get it started.
Let's do it. We'll take a break. Zaxby's here in Martin, Tennessee. We'll come back and we'll start the podcast.
Let's rock and roll. We'll take a break here. When we come back, Jackson Twerdahl from the UT Martin golf team will join us here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And back here at Zaxby's in Martin, Tennessee for Skyhawk Sports Talk, Gregory here with Chris Brinkley. Joining us now from the UT Martin golf team is redshirt senior from Nolensville, Tennessee, Jackson Twerdahl. Jackson, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
A great tournament last week, your first top 25. Talk to us about that. What went right for you there?
Man, the putter was rolling that week. I mean, I feel like every putt I looked at, I could make it, and I was building off of the last 2 tournaments before that as well, and everything just seemed to fall into place.
And just jumping into it, how's the school year going, too? We'll get back to that performance, but school-wise, how's everything going here? Redshirt senior, what kind of class schedule we got?
It's kind of half as hard and half as easy, so after I redshirted my freshman year, I decided to double major in accounting and finance. So now I've only got 4 classes that I have to be taking. So I'm taking 2 in the fall and then 2 in the spring.
Oh, well, that's a perfect
The other ones
right
are
there.
like advanced CPR, like those kind of things.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, it's nice.
I remember advanced CPR. Not quite as easy as you might think.
No.
It would be.
I mean, it's a good skill to learn, though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was first aid, and it was advanced first aid and CPR.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Maybe that's right. Yep.
So one of the things that we learned, and I don't know if you're learning this, but how to treat a snake bite.
I have not learned that yet.
Oh, that may be coming up.
I'm not a fan of snakes, so
Chris with a spoiler alert.
Oh, gosh.
Now you're going to be ready. You're going to Google everything up and be ready
I
for
try my
class.
best to avoid snakes at all costs. So
What do you
I'm
want
in
to
the
do when
same
you graduate?
I'm not quite sure yet. I know I've been working for the SNEDS Tour, which is a junior golf organization, over the last 4 summers. So I think I might have a bigger role in there this summer, and then kind of figuring it out as I go along.
Okay.
So Nolensville, Tennessee. Where's Nolensville at?
It's just south of Nashville, about 30 minutes south of Nashville, like Brentwood, Tennessee, if you know
Okay,
there. It's
yes.
right across the road. Yeah.
Well, is Nolensville Road in Nolensville?
Yes,
And it
is.
goes into Nashville.
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
So that's a long road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. I take that road all the time.
Yeah.
And back to the tournament, though, putter working really well for you. Overall, your game, how did you see it really come together here? These past couple years for one of your best finishes.
Yeah, I'd say overall just building confidence week in, week out. We have a really competitive team, so being able to get into the lineup with a really competitive team was big boost of confidence there. And then I did see this golf course last year as well, and I knew kind of where to put the ball on the greens and then off the tee as well. So just everything kind of.
When did you start playing?
Real young. I started playing tournament golf when I was about 11, but my dad was the general manager of various golf courses around the southeast, and then that's kind of what brought us to Tennessee. So I've been growing up going to the golf course with him on the weekends all the time.
How many hole-in-ones?
Never had one.
What?
So you watch your teammate Jonathan get a hole-in-one.
I know.
What in the world?
Man, it's coming.
It's
coming this year.
It is. You just gotta get your right
And
yardage,
what's the
everything
closest
right.
you've been?
Oh, probably inches. Yeah, I mean, it's out on the edge. I've seen a couple lip out before,
Oh.
but it's
No, it's a weird thing. To me, like the greatest moment is that moment when you think you got a chance, and it's just like a second, and you're like, it's got a chance.
Oh, yeah.
But the biggest disappointment ever is when you're that close.
And I always see on Instagram like these people that are just starting off playing golf and they're hitting driver from 120 yards and it goes in the hole, and I'm like, I've been playing for 15 years, and I haven't even.
If you hit your driver off the tee from 100 yards out, I mean, it's going probably about 350.
Yeah,
It's going to
exactly.
the next
I
hole.
know, but hey.
I've hit one, but the closest I almost ever came was on a pond that had frozen over, and I hit the ice.
Really?
And then it came off the ice and went onto a
Wow.
par 3 green.
I need some luck like that.
And I thought, could I count? Can I tell people that story?
100%.
Or does it diminish it?
No,
it's okay?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe it's a better story.
I think so.
Now, how many hole-in-ones in Wii golf, though?
Oh, man.
That's
I haven't
what-
played Wii golf in a while now, but
Yeah.
definitely quite a few in Wii golf.
Over the summer, I got to play a lot of Wii golf.
Okay.
And I've achieved master status.
Really?
Wow.
Wii
Man,
Sports Resort.
I need to pull the Wii back out, maybe get it from my parents' house and bring it up here.
We need to have a video where the entire golf team, Chris and I, we get together and we play Wii golf.
All right,
at
I'm
the,
in.
At
Yeah.
the center.
We
I'll
might
let
be
the guys know.
competitive.
We might be competitive. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Seriously, on some of these simulators now that help you on your game, how is it changing the world of golf, and how accurate is it in your
It's
ability to get better?
Incredibly accurate. I
Yeah.
mean, so we've got a TrackMan at our facility, which tells you pretty much anything about from swing speed to club path, where your face is angled at address, at impact, and all that. And we use it almost every day, and it's big help.
Where
big
do you
help.
want your speed to be?
Swing speed wise,
Yeah.
I'd say right around 116, 117 is pretty good. I think that's right around tour average as well. So, and that's a big help to Chris in the weight room. He gets all of our, over the year, you can just tell your swing speed gets faster and faster, and that also makes you hit the ball farther.
And then you know the speed of the ball coming off the club?
Yep.
And what is that?
Ball speed, right around 170 miles an hour, give or
Wow.
take.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, spin ratio confuses me, or that terminology. What does that mean? And
So spin rate is how
spin rate.
Yeah, spin rate's how much the ball is spinning, and it's different for every club. So like you'll spin a wedge at I think like 8,000 RPMs, and then you want to spin a driver around like 2,000.
8,000?
Yep.
Wow, and that's revolutions per minute?
Yep. So
Wow.
when you're hitting wedges into the green, you can get them to spin back to the hole,
That's how you
or
get backspin.
stop on a dime. And then with the driver, you want it to hit and then roll out even farther. So you got the carry, and then your total distance would be after it rolls out.
That's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible. Fifth year for you. We've talked about it, but one of 3 players to play in every tournament now, and average score about 71.9. And talk about the growth for you, not just as a player, but as a person from year 1 at UT Martin to now here in year 5.
Yeah, I mean, big help, or giving it to Coach Swafford. He's helped me big time throughout these 5 years, and just my teammates in general. We continue to push each other every day on the golf course and off the golf course. We're a very close group, and it's helped big time.
Your brother, a golfer at Tennessee State. How was that growing up with him in the competition between
Yeah, same
both of
thing.
y'all?
So I've got him and then one other younger brother, so very competitive household, and just over the summers and Christmas break, I get to go out to the golf course and play with them all the time, and then as well as my dad always pushing me. So that's as well helped.
And what's the all-time record between you and your brothers?
Oh, I like to say it's me on
by a wide
by
margin?
a wide margin.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
for sure.
You like to say that, but
No,
Is
it's
that
true.
right?
We got to play in a tournament last year at Tennessee State's tournament together, and I beat him in that. So
Really? How about your dad?
I beat my dad ever since I was probably about 14. I've been beating
So
him
the first
pretty
time,
consistently.
did things change the first time?
Oh,
won?
that was not a good day for him. He was very upset about that.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, I would be too. And we've seen golf as a game start to grow a lot more. I know whenever Tiger Woods was coming up and everything like that, everyone was watching it. It's gone through a little bit of a slow slope, but then now it's coming back up. Who's your favorite golfer to watch? We'll go ahead and start with one of those type of questions.
I really like Justin Thomas.
Okay,
He also
JT.
plays. I play a cut off the tee, and he does as well. And I really like his golf swing. So yeah, JT is my favorite golfer to watch.
Ask Coach Swafford this one time, if you were to build the perfect golfer, what skills would you take from every one golfer to build that one perfect guy?
All right, I would take Rory McIlroy's driving. I'd take Scotty Scheffler's approach game, irons. Probably take Tiger Woods chipping, and putting's a tough one. Trying to think. Probably go. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
The name just popped. Oh my gosh.
Putting's a tough one. I mean, it kind of depends.
Yeah.
I'll just take JT's putting.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good all-around golfer.
Favorite tournament you've ever played in so far in your career at UT Martin?
I'd have to say probably just our home tournament at Jackson. It's just my family gets to come out and all that, and just the entire team's playing, and it's always a good time out there.
And do you get more nervous when your parents are there, when your family's there, or is
no,
it just
it's
fine?
kind of it's
But
kind
you've
of
been playing
normal.
in front of your dad since you were
Exactly,
a kid.
and same thing.
Yeah.
Mom gets to come out and watch, and that's awesome.
Does she play
so
too?
She does not.
Oh,
no.
wow.
She comes out. That's her favorite thing. She doesn't even want to play. She's more focused on watching the boys play.
Is Top Golf fun for you, or are you too good for it to be
No,
fun?
Top Golf is always
It's
fun.
okay?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a good relaxing golf.
In
It's not-
Nashville, have you hit it over the net?
I have.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I don't bring my own clubs anymore, but
Yeah.
I've done that before, and it's very easy to with your own clubs.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Well,
a long way.
Well, and then they roid up the ball too. So,
I know.
you get some
Yeah.
extra juice behind
Mhm.
that. I'm just happy if it goes straight. I don't care what target I'm hitting, as long as the ball is going in a straight line. We're good.
You seem
We're
to
good.
get points for about anything. out
Exactly.
there,
Yeah,
I
so.
mean,
right.
it's points on the board. That's what it is. So the team now through a couple tournaments in the fall season. Where are we at right now as a group?
We're good. We're getting better every tournament. We've had 2 under par finishes as a team, and again, a lot of momentum building off of that. We go to Kennesaw State next week, which is a good tournament for us, and we're familiar with the course. And we're excited to get out there. A good finish is coming, and it's coming.
Big game tonight, Monday Night Football. Coach Swafford told me about this. You are a big New Orleans Saints
I
fan.
am.
They were off to a hot start, and then they've kind of cooled off a little
Yeah.
bit. Got the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. What's your score prediction for tonight's game?
I mean, I got to go Saints. I'm going to go 27-21 Saints.
Oh,
Okay. What's crazy is everyone's talking about Kansas City's they're not what they are or what they used to be. They're 4-0.
Well, they've got some injuries
They
now.
do.
They've got
They
those
do.
wide receivers are a little banged up. So, and that Saints defense, watch out for them.
Saints defense is always
Watch
good.
out for 'em.
All right, we've got the Saints prediction. We got an update from Jackson on UT Martin Golf. Great to get to know you. Great to have you here on the podcast. And have a great day,
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having me.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will have Dylan Sulcer from the UT Martin Volleyball team joining us here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory here, joined by Chris Brinkley. And now joining us, redshirt freshman Dylan Sulcer from the UT Martin Volleyball team out of Brentwood High School. Dylan, thanks so
Yes.
much for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So how's the season going so far in this transition to UT Martin? I know you transferred in
Yes.
from Dallas Baptist. How's the transition coming here to Martin?
It's been awesome. I came in last spring, so I got to play some beach volleyball, and that was incredible. I loved it. And then having my first fall season this year has been just the same, just playing under Jaclynn and Julia, and just the team. They're great coaches, so I just continuing to learn from them every day has been awesome.
And what was the pitch to you to get you to come over to UT Martin for beach and then also for indoor as well?
Really just the family environment. I think Jaclynn and Julia do a great job of creating a team that plays for one another and plays for something bigger, and just I really love UT Martin, and it's close to home, 2.5 hours away, so that was a really big draw for me.
And your family probably gets to come and watch you
Yes,
play too, so
they
that's
do.
also an added bonus.
They do.
So going back to high school, went to Brentwood, won back-to-back state championships, and Brentwood, a very good school in
Yes.
volleyball. Talk about your experience there in high school.
I was so blessed getting to go to Brentwood High, and the volleyball program was amazing. I got to play with Shay Eggleston and Logan Eggleston, who's an amazing volleyball player. She came out of Brentwood, and just that program really instilled just hard work and striving for just greatness, and so that's what I try to do wherever I am, and so yeah, it was just super cool.
Was there any beach when you were playing early in your career?
A little bit, like during COVID, I started to get into beach because the indoor facilities were closed, so I played a couple tournaments here and there. Always loved it, and that was a big draw coming here too. Just had the opportunity to play beach, so yeah,
Yeah. And you like it?
I do.
Yeah.
And a communications major. That's that you're already Chris and I's best friend
I
on that
know.
one. Well, I think Coach Wilson was a communications major as
Yes.
well too. So that's another bonus too.
connections.
So what is the sequence in communications?
Still trying to figure that out, but I love nonprofit work. I would love to work with nonprofits and just be either a social media manager through that or just strategic communication, something in that. I'm still in the early processes of figuring out that, but
And still time.
Yes.
Still lots of time.
Have you worked with nonprofits before?
I have.
Yeah. What did you do?
This Special Olympics, I
Oh.
worked a lot with them in high school and loved it so much. Got to work with our special ed class too at Brentwood, and
Yeah.
so that could be something cool, mix the sports and the nonprofits. So
How big was your graduating class? How big is Brentwood? Do you know? I mean, it's big.
It's pretty big. Probably 400, 500.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. So a couple thousand people in the school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we mentioned your family before. You've got 4 siblings, a
I-
big family. What about that and growing up with a big household?
I love it so much, and being the oldest just really taught me so much about responsibility, and big families are my thing. I love it. 4 younger siblings. My little sister Ava actually plays volleyball too. She's a senior in high school, so she's playing for Brentwood this year. But it's just like having a big family teaches you so much about responsibility and caring for one another, and taking on a role like that. It was super fun, and my parents are great. Really pushed us all, and we're big into sports. So
Well, let's mention the other 3. We don't
Yes.
want to leave them out.
so yeah, I can't leave them out. They're all awesome.
They probably were just like, thank you, kids, thank you.
We call them the 3 little ones because it's like me and my sister Ava, and then they're kind of younger. But it's Bo, Shane, and Kennedy. So I have 1 brother and 3 sisters.
Okay.
So yeah.
So the brother probably gets, he
Yes.
probably gets a lot of the love, though,
He
from
does.
parents.
He's my best friend. I love him so much.
Oh,
And
how old
That
is
is
he?
awesome.
he's 11, so he plays
Okay.
baseball and basketball.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah.
Very athletic family,
Yes.
very athletic bunch.
Yes.
For you, 7th different player in UT Martin Volleyball's Division I history last week when you recorded a triple-double against Southern Indiana, 11 kills, 13 assists, 14 digs. Probably your best game here at
Yeah.
UT Martin. What was
For
going
sure.
right for you?
Just the energy. The energy, I was just super grateful to have the opportunity to have such a big role during that game, and I came in with the goal to bring as much energy as I could into that game. Was really staying aggressive in the hitting and the serving, and it all seemed to flow. It's like a game where you feel like you're in a different world. You step out onto the court, and then you step off, and you're like, what just happened? But it was super awesome.
Did you
So
know statistically what you had accomplished?
I did not. We got into the bus after the game, and everyone was like, Birdie, you hit a triple-double. And I was like, what even is that? I felt very unaware, but
Was that your first ever triple-double?
I'm not sure. I might have gotten one in high school, but we just didn't talk about it as much, so I'm not sure.
It just hit you right
Yeah,
then and there
it
on
did.
the bus. That is awesome.
did.
Back to your teammates. They've nicknamed you Birdie.
They have.
Where does that come from? What's the backstory
Okay.
there?
So it's not a super cool story, but the first night I was here when I transferred in, Peep, Hannah, we call her Peep. She was trying to figure out a nickname for me because we have 2 Dylans on the team, Dylan Mott and then I. And she was like, what's your middle name? And my middle name is McCall. And she thought it sounded like a bird, like macaw. And so she was like Birdie, and it fits pretty well. So we all love it.
I
And
like that.
That was very well done.
I would
by
have
Pete.
Yeah.
never
Very
guessed
well
so
done.
it's all
that. No,
because of
that's-
Peep. So she gave me that.
And you mentioned that this team feels like a family, and the relationship with your teammates. Describe that.
Yeah. I just all of them are. When I transferred in, it was super important to me to find a team who made it feel welcoming. And when I came here, they all were like checking up on me, making sure I had everything I needed, and especially in practice too, we push each other super hard, push each other to be the best versions of ourselves. But I think where it even goes further is caring for each other off the court, and so it's reciprocated
That's
both
phenomenal
ways.
because really all teams don't have that. But you felt at home pretty quickly?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
So as you move forward in your career, what is your goal to help the younger players?
That is so important to me. Like throughout my whole career, I've loved pouring back into the younger generation of volleyball players. Here at UT Martin, just as freshmen come in, just challenging them to believe more in themselves and believe more in what they have here. Because if you would have asked me if I would get a triple-double, I would probably say, I don't know. I had no idea, but now I'm here, and so I just want the team as a whole to believe in greater for us. So.
And I think having younger siblings, you have to be tough, but you also
Yep.
have to be loving. And you can
Yeah.
be tough when they know it comes from a place of love.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Jumping right back into conference play this Friday against Morehead State. What are some of your goals for the rest of this season?
Yeah. I think a big goal is just coming off this win that we really needed, continuing that energy over to this home game, and just continuing to dig deeper each game and never letting off the gas. Coach Jaclynn Wilson talks about that a lot. We have to keep pushing forward, eyes up. We're looking for more wins, so we're excited for this weekend.
We're going to have Coach on soon. Give us one question. I don't know if she can hear us. One question we can ask her.
I'm going to have to write this one
Can
down,
she
too.
hear us?
I don't know if she can. I don't think she can.
Okay. Maybe not. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Let me think.
This is good.
No, she's got
information.
one. This is going to be
Yeah,
a good
this
one.
is
I
gonna
can
be a
feel it.
good one. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
what's her favorite?
Yeah. Look inspired.
Yeah, we are. Even though we're on a loudspeaker in the middle of
I know. I'm
Zaxby's
trying to be
art.
quiet,
Trying
like
to be
whisper here.
Quiet at Zaxby's. Yeah.
What's her favorite practice? Practice drill.
Okay.
See.
Do you know
Okay.
the answer?
Maybe.
Write it down. And
I'm
we'll see if-
interested.
we'll see
I'm
if you
interested
get
to
it.
see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay,
We'll
this
see.
is good. Okay, I didn't mean to derail the interview.
No,
This could
don't
be
even
fun.
worry.
This could be
I
fun.
want to say. I'm just gonna put.
Do you know all the practice drills?
Oh, no. I just know that they have really good music whenever I'm in there
Yes.
working.
Good.
That's
No, our team loves a
Okay.
good
Oh,
playlist.
it's my favorite part
Good
about my
playlist,
entire day
yes.
is whenever y'all go and practice.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
finally. The jams are
We get
coming
into
out.
the gym and we're like, "Who's on Ox?"
Yeah, who's your favorite person to be on Ox?
Um.
Now this might upset some people
Yeah.
here.
I'd say. Mia Signs typically
Okay.
has a good variety of everything.
Okay.
What's your playlist?
I would love country.
Oh, okay.
I love country,
Yeah.
so probably a mix of country
Yeah.
and then
You are from Middle Tennessee.
I am
It's-
from
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee,
Okay.
you know, the heart downtown Nashville, but yeah,
Yeah.
lots of country.
Okay.
I love it. We need to get Dylan's playlist and put it in the
Yes.
description. We'll do that. Dylan, thanks so much for joining
Thank
us. Good
you.
luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. I
We'll take a
appreciate it.
break, and when we come back, we will have Jaclynn Wilson, UT Martin head volleyball coach, joining us here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory here, still with me, Chris Brinkley, and joining us now, head coach of the UT Martin volleyball team, Jaclynn Wilson, and now the UT Martin all-time NCAA Division I volleyball wins leader, Jaclynn Wilson. Coach, congratulations on the record.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We saw the video from the postgame and did you know that was win number 111?
I had no idea. Honestly, I didn't know what the record was. If you really know me, I really don't track those type of things. Kind of like Birdie was talking about, you know, her triple double, and for me, if that was, and I'm super proud of it. I think, you know, I had no idea. It's great, but if I were trying to track that, I think I would have, our schedules would have looked a little different the last few years.
I agree.
Because I do think we
Non-conference
play
would
a
have been
really,
a little bit easier.
But
how great, though.
still
I mean,
awesome.
when you came here, you had a lot of wins, obviously, just not as the UT Martin coach. But now here we are. Congratulations on that. Quite a feat. And
I appreciate that.
I know you coming here was a little bit of a risk for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't necessarily anticipate being here as long as I have. But, you know, I love UT Martin. I love the community. Everybody I've seen in the community has, you know, said something to me if I see them. And they're just very supportive and, you know, blessed to have the opportunity and thankful to be here.
And Chris leads me into this question. And talk about the journey so far, your 10th season, and to now be the all-time winningest coach in Division I history here for the Skyhawks. Talk about that journey and everything that you've gone through to get to this point.
For sure. You know, we've had successful years. We've had tough years. It was really tough when I first got here, and we've worked really hard, number one, to build a culture, and, you know, the wins have kind of followed. This year in particular, I mean, it was kind of a bright spot on a tough season record-wise. I still feel like our team's playing some of the best volleyball at times than we've ever played. So I'm still very excited about our conference season that we have left. But the journey, it's you know, I never dreamt of being a coach, and I think, you know, God puts you in places, you know, that you're supposed to be, and
Yeah, no doubt.
so, you know, I the relationships have been incredible for me that I've built with these girls, and that's my favorite part, you know, and seeing them grow and develop and getting to be, you know, an impactful person for them during this time in their lives is pretty cool. But, you know, we want to chase championships too.
And that
You
is
know,
awesome.
Yeah, I don't want. As broadcasters, we always dwell on stats and records and all of this. And when I first started working in sports information, I did the media guides, so I kept up with overall. But when you look at that overall record from 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 1 year ago, what are the things that you never know about a team just looking at that record? What are things that happen that are not indicative of the record?
Oh my goodness. Like we talked, the relationships, and you go through, different things with each and every one of these girls, and, you're a part of loss. Some of the girls, have had loss and or, injuries and things, that as a team this year, we're dealing with some stuff, and I'm really proud of the girls for the way they've handled the adversity and the way we believe it'll make us better, and we believe everything happens for a reason. But there's so many stories, and there's so much more depth behind any record, and, good and bad. And, I hope, the experience for these girls is positive and something they look back on as a positive. We talk a lot about when it's over and done, I want them to miss it. I want them to be sad it's over, because a lot of Division I athletics anymore, it's so much work, and it is. And these girls put in a lot of work, and we work them really hard. But I never want them to get done and be like, thank God that's over, and have some resentment towards the sport.
Well, based on what we hear from the players, when you're not in the room, you're doing it right.
Well, I appreciate that. And you can't make everybody happy all the time, and it's tough, and sometimes it's tough love with every single one of them, and some of those tougher girls you end up having even a closer relationship with because you've been through a lot of challenges. Yeah, but it's awesome. I'm thankful to do it, and I wouldn't change who I get to do it with.
And Dylan, going to the game, Birdie with a triple-double. True freshman Kylie Surratt leading this team in kills right now. A lot of young talent showing out here as we get into conference play.
Yes, which is super exciting for us. I had coffee with Kylie the other day, and we were talking about the challenges of this season and her role. And right now, you've got every team we play is targeting her, is trying to shut her down, which is really hard for a freshman, but how awesome too. I'm like, you're a freshman out here and people are targeting you and trying to stop you, and you're still finding ways to be successful. And this is as hard as it gets, for her. And how exciting for the future of that and her career. And Birdie, I don't even know her as Dylan. I hear Dylan, her and Peep, Hannah Haslip. I don't, in my phone, they're Birdie and Peep. And I had to change it at one point because I'd go to look and I'm like, Dylan, who's Dylan? But super proud of her. And honestly, she is, I heard her say she was just thankful to have the opportunity to have a big role there. And she means that so genuinely. It doesn't matter what role you put her in. She is going to take her opportunity, and whether, her performance is, A+ or not, she's going to give it everything she's got. She's going to play it like it's the match point of a national championship. And she's extremely talented, high volleyball IQ, and her role has kind of been a little bit of different things all season long, but for her to step up and have a triple-double, I was really proud of her, really excited for her, and big things to come for her.
Coming out of non-conference play, what did you learn about the team during that stretch? Because we said it before, you like to schedule tough opponents. What did you learn about this group coming out of there?
Oh, goodness. We talk about we just keep getting back up, and that's what successful teams do and successful people do. And, things aren't easy, or things, you're not being successful or winning. You get back up and you keep working. And I will say we're working harder than we've ever worked these last handful of weeks. We had a really, really bad loss at home that took us down, and that was a hard one to bounce back from. But I think, again, everything makes you stronger. And I'll tell you, it's challenged me as a coach to be a lot better, as far as I have been working so hard to try to, push these girls and challenge these girls and make sure that doesn't happen again. And make sure now in conference that when people and teams might be getting comfortable, we're going to keep our heads down and grind.
And just 3 matches played so far in conference. What adjustments are you looking to make? But also, what are some things that the team has done well here against OVC foes?
We changed our entire lineup and our offense and went to a 6-2 on Tuesday. and it was successful and we won. I was a little hesitant to change it because we had 1 day of practice, and we've been in a 5-1 all year. And Katie Cruz has been running that 5-1 for us. I think she's done a great job. She's got great hands. Just offensively, we needed to make a change to find a way to put ourselves in a position to be more successful. Sometimes you question yourself, should I have changed it a long time ago? But everything happens for a reason, and I think that we needed something fresh right now. And is it going to continue to be successful? I don't know. I hope so. I said when we played USI, and that's a good team, we either one, caught them totally off guard because they hadn't seen us in that lineup or that offense on any film all season long, or two, this is it, and now maybe we'll really hit our stride and find that. I think it gives more people opportunity, it gets more people involved, and it gives us a little bit more options. So I'm excited about it, and our girls have responded really well to the change, and that's kind of where we are. I think depending on matchups, you'll pick personnel depending on who we're targeting or who we need to slow down. Do we need a bigger block? Do we need quicker speed? We've got so many different pieces on the team, so I think you'll see different personnel out there, but I think you're going to find us for now in a 6-2.
Okay. OVC home opener this Friday against Morehead State. How are you looking to attack the rest of this conference schedule?
Hard and fast. No, hard and fast. We coming off a win, and then we had a break and a bye week, which is something I'm still trying to get used to because that wasn't a thing 3 years ago. And I think we've just coming off a win, having a little bit of confidence is good, but I think we had the mindset of we've got to work. We've got to use these 2 weeks to prepare, and we're not preparing just for Morehead. Like we're really focusing on ourselves and what we're doing on our side of the net. And then, you use that film to kind of make a couple adjustments, maybe defensively where we want. But I think it's week to week. We're going to focus on ourselves and what we're doing on our side of the net and hope we can make a good run for it.
Birdie had a question for you.
Oh, goodness.
We kind of got a
we got to hold this away from you. She had a question. We try to keep it quiet even though we're on a speaker in the middle of Zaxby's. What is your favorite practice drill? And she has a guess as to what it is, but I won't tell you that until you answer it.
Oh, my goodness. Did she say pit drill?
No.
Okay. Well, that would be Julia's.
Okay.
But I was just saying she'd say that because it's really hard on them, and she's probably like, oh, goodness. Texas?
She said 6v6 play is her favorite.
Oh, that's her favorite?
That's her favorite. What's your favorite?
I thought you were asking me what my favorite is.
That was her favorite. I thought. No.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Maybe
who doesn't love 6v6?
That's what she questioned. So is that your favorite drill? Is 6v6
well, any type of play, yes, for sure. I thought she'd probably say like Texas because I am really, really big on hammering serve receive. We do serve receive every day, and it probably drives the girls crazy. But
is this where it's so again me just walking around and maybe refill my water bottle or something like that? Is this you when you're standing on one of the big blocks and you're just hammering away?
No. But I'm telling you, my shoulder is worn out.
Did you see Dylan's Meet the Skyhawks? Where
yes. Oh my gosh! And I never thought twice about it. Now every day I go to do it. I do it, and I'm like, and we all kind of laugh because now I'm conscious of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, no, I'm never warmed up, and I get up there and try to
just first one, just slam it right down. You're like, nope. Got to get that one ready.
6v6 definitely would be everybody's favorite. I think it's high intensity, it's fun, competitive. But unfortunately, we can't do it all the time.
This is true. This is very true. Well, Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck here in the OVC schedule.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have Jodie, Duncan join us here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And welcome back to Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. And now joining us, a former Skyhawk herself, Director of Event Management at UT Martin, Jodie Duncan joins us now. And Jodie's got fans here.
Zaxby's back today.
They love you, Jodie. They love you.
A woman of the people. Well, you can't self-proclaim woman of the people, can you?
No, you can.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can. You definitely can.
Maybe you need your own segment, like just to
We just did a whole segment that was off the air now that Mac has to go back.
Well, I
and
messed with them. I was going to pull a Hatler. I said, put me first. I'm going to tell a long story. We'll get to nobody else in an hour.
Halle, what are your thoughts on Texas high school football? And welcome back to the fourth quarter.
My dad worked for the Dallas PD or who, I don't know.
and that's how stories will go on our football broadcast. But no, Jodie has duties as the director of event management at UT Martin. What are those duties, Jodie?
I think Kurt keeps asking that question too. He's not paying attention. He left. But no, basically my job is to make sure games run smoothly. If you see me at a game, hopefully I'm calm. If I'm moving, that means something has gone wrong. As you guys know, a shot clock's got unplugged or something. But mainly me and my crew that I have, thankfully, we work with visiting teams. We work with officials, make sure everybody's accommodated when they come. And so that's just making sure they're good. They know where they're going, where a locker room is. They got everything they need to have a good time in Martin. We just try to be hospitable.
You know, can I say what I always say to you when we're on the air is that I think of all of the people that I'm around, the one that's always in the best mood and has the best attitude and a smile and makes everyone feel better about the world is her. And for you to even do that for the visitors, and even one time you helped escort a coach away from the game. No, and I felt like that coach was like, well, if you're telling me to do it, okay, I'll go. But no,
it happens every once in a while.
I want to really compliment you on that, and I want to tell you keep shining your light because not all of us have the ability to do that 24/7.
Well, I really appreciate it. You guys always put a smile on my face. Yeah. I always tell Davis come down to get coffee because it's just nice to
I will.
To get a little.
I get my
we'll
travel
chat
cups.
With you
I get my travel cups. James and I took a trip to. We need to get James on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
we took a trip to Rural King the other day in the Cub. It was a great moment.
That's awesome.
It was a really great moment.
I saw him drive the Cub up here today, so.
I now know
safety,
the route.
close your ears, but.
Never act like you didn't hear that. We're
safely.
How many years now at UT Martin since you played softball?
I believe 6. I graduated in 18. Is that math right?
We're communication majors. We don't know what we're talking about.
None of us know math.
You're not supposed to ask us questions.
Yeah, right. Whoa. Don't turn this podcast around. I don't think so.
This is not a math podcast. This is a sports podcast.
Pull a Menley, bring out the questions. I should have brought my own questions.
Did you know, though, whenever you graduated that you would be here now?
No, not at all. I was like anybody else that played pre-COVID. You thought you were going to do your 4 years and then get a job and leave. And thankfully they were like, well, we'll keep – speaking of Hatler, they're like, we'll keep you around. And I was like, that sounds cool. And even I thought I was going to do 2 years of grad school and duck out too. And they're like, I mean, we're cool if you want to do this full thing. And I was like, I'm enjoying it. And I love the town. I love the university. I love all the people that we get to work with. So, yeah.
I think it's an advantage for you, though, to get to do what you do because you know what it's like as a player and to be around the team and you know UT Martin athletics.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even Saturday I ended up staying with the sports info guys and Mac and stuff after the game because we bragged that we finally got out of a game before, 10 p.m. And then we sat there and watched football and stuff. And just seeing everything that they have to do because, we have the home games. I do mostly home games. These guys, you're doing away games. You're having to keep up. Everybody's everywhere. And we finish a football game, but they got to finish, everything else that went on, rifle and question, everybody that's on the road and stuff. And when you're a player, you didn't really have that appreciation. You're just like, oh, Alex came here and he turned on my scoreboard. Like, that's not everything that he did. You know what I mean? There's so much that goes into it. And so I commend you guys. I was telling, that's my church family back there, the whole staff. That's who's here. But I was telling them, I'm like, these guys show up and they have like 10 pages of notes. They know everything that every team has done, like the preparation that you all go into and then have to do on the back end. Like, when you're an athlete, you don't appreciate it. But I'm so lucky now that I've got on this side and I can really see that and just you guys are awesome.
Well, it's very kind, and they do a wonderful job.
Yes, they do. Yeah. They do. Yeah. There is one in there that's like the weak link, but we won't really talk about it right now.
We won't say who it is. We won't point fingers.
And the same thing for like you, even for softball, you're checking the opponents. You're checking the bats before a game. I mean,
bat testing is Jodie's favorite thing.
Yeah, so
there are so many things that
don't get sweaty palms or anything.
Yeah. And what James, I mean, it really takes a village.
It does. It does. And it's really cool. And like I said, you just don't appreciate it when you're an athlete. And so I wish everybody got to see it. I think it was cool. It'd be cool if everybody got to just follow somebody on staff around for a day and realize like how much goes into it, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of people tell me, and I'm sure you get to, you work in sports, that must be fun.
Right.
It is.
It has
but
its perks.
It's a lot of work though, and you're going to work on holidays, and you're going to work
Yeah.
at night, and you're going to be there before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
And it never ends.
And like I tell people, I'm like, if everything goes right, I do get to just sit and watch a game. Like that's really cool. It's when the things don't go right and you're like, you're running around and stuff.
And do things.
So.
That's what it is. So, softball player at UT Martin from 2015 to 18. What was that experience as a student athlete like?
Oh, dude, it was super awesome. I mean, obviously I'm still here, so I like the talent. I liked my experience here. But being a college athlete is something you really can't describe unless you're kind of into it. Like, just all the early mornings, the work, I was in outdoor sports, so we didn't always have top weather,
Yeah.
There was times where you're pulling off the tarp and hail's coming down. And you're like, we're about to practice, aren't we? We're taking this tarp off. I think we're actually going to practice on this. And so, but it's a joy that you can't explain because everything that you get out of it, like you know everything that you put into it was worth it. So it's such a great experience.
It really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah.
And 4 years, or with some of the athletes now 6 or 7 years, but it's a small little part of your life that's just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too when if somebody would have told you everything you would have went through beforehand, you would have said no, you wouldn't have signed up.
Yeah.
But when you're in the midst of it, you're like, man, I can't explain. Like, this is actually really fun. And we talked about it all the time that the days are long, but the years are short. Like, you'd go through and you're like, oh, man, we just got out of this. Like, we've got weights in the morning. Like, I got this, paper that's due, but I got to get rest. So, like, Coach Chris don't get mad at me in weights in the morning, and we're not allowed to yawn in there. So, like, I'm going to feel a yawn coming. And got to,
You're not allowed to yawn.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
I think I yawned in
Disrespectful.
front of him the other day, actually.
It was just like,
Yeah, that was a good lesson. He's like, yawning is disrespectful to the person that's like there
No,
with you. And
that's
I'm
true.
like, oh, that's
Yeah.
actually really, But you're like, I'm 18 and I'm tired.
yeah, you woke me up at 4:30 in the morning. What
I
are we
actually
doing
had an
here?
English professor, and he said, if I see your tonsils in this class, you're
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, an
Man.
English professor.
My freshman year, I showed up to a class it was like 7 minutes late or something. When I walked in, the professor goes, Jodie's here, we can start now. He had not started the class. And I was like mortified. I'm like, I will never be late anywhere else. Like, those lessons that you
Oh, my
learn.
gosh.
Yeah.
Golly. So, also being director of event management, you're also leader of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA, on campus, and then also a SAC advisor, too. And talk about your work with both of those groups.
Yeah, both groups are awesome, and there is some overlap and stuff because a lot of athletes that are faith-based really want to get into community service and stuff. And one of the things I remember from the athlete orientation that we would have in the field house, like the first Sunday, I remember Nick Glenn coming in there and saying, if you love Martin, Martin will love you back. And so that was just something that's stuck with me my whole time here. And I just with SAC and with FCA, that's our biggest opportunity to go into the community, do things. And I'm just so proud of the group. We've got some cool stuff coming up, like Zach Wager from baseball. He has his pilot's license. He got supplies and stuff from several different teams and actually flew it for the flood. Yeah, for their hurricane victims. And so he's let me say that publicly and stuff. And so I think we're going to do something for him. But that's super cool. We have an athlete from last year that was really impacted by the Hawks for the holidays, getting Christmas presents for them. He's actually donated $1,000 for this year.
Wow.
I haven't asked if he wants his name public because
Yeah.
he's one of those that definitely doesn't. But it's those things that getting involved with FCA and SAC gets you more involved with Martin, and it leaves a lasting impact. It makes you go, I really appreciated my time there. There's a lot of athletes that they don't want to come here and feel like they just did school or they just did their sport. They want to get involved, and so it's been fun to watch them do that through this.
Well, I think a higher level, I shouldn't say it's judgmental. Contribution is a big deal.
Yeah.
If you want fulfillment out of life, I'll just
Yeah.
go there. And for you to help the student athletes learn about contribution and at an early age, I think makes all the difference in the world.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's
and
been
you
real
obviously learned that at some point from someone.
Yeah.
And realized the impact it not only made on others, but also on you. And
Yeah.
now you're passing that along to others.
Yeah, definitely. When I went 2 years here my sophomore year, and you can look at the stats, so did not have as well of a sophomore year as I did my other years, and I was really selfish with that, and I thought it's everybody else's fault. It's not mine. I put in the work. I did all this stuff, and I wasn't playing the stuff, or I wasn't in the lineup where I needed to be and all this stuff. And I went home that summer, and I was just like, there's got to be a change. And the Lord really laid it on my heart that I need to start serving more. And that's when I started serving in my local church. And the youth pastor there, his name's Jay Barbier. Him and his wife, Natalie, are like big mentors to me. And they took me on my first mission trip, like all this stuff. And so I really learned like how serving others actually like does better for your life. But like you just can't explain like actually putting hands and feet to like your faith. But even if you're, don't believe in that, like just serving others actually it fulfills your own life.
Yeah,
100%.
And you live that every day.
So. Oh, I appreciate
Jodie
it.
does.
You guys do
Jodie,
too.
the real MVP, the real MVP of everything. Final 2 questions for you. Favorite memory as an athlete, and then your favorite memory as a member of the athletic staff.
Oh.
One of my favorite memories, it's always those hotel stories. Things happen in the hotel.
That's right.
And,
Wait, whoa! What happens in the hotel stays in the hotel now.
We have we kind of had those rules where you in the room you did number 1, outside the room
We're
you
on
did. I know,
but it's
hey,
true.
Okay,
it's a true. It's a true statement.
We had a teammate who did not make it down that elevator, and that was the craziest thing. And we had to turn in our cell phones at night, so we thought we lost her for a while because we had no way to get a contact.
I was not expecting that.
That is the best
those
thing.
Those are things you never
story.
forget. You know what I mean?
That's the best moment of this podcast history.
And it was
No, that is great.
That's an
that is great.
That's my favorite memory now, and I wasn't even there.
I'm trying to think, man, as a worker, I tell you, like, it's one of those things watching other teams win championships and, like, you know what I mean, just everything they go through and like, you guys know, the stats, the things, the odds stacked against people and stuff. How people are injured during the week. They're in boots, they're in whatever, but they come and they're playing on the weekend. And so all that stuff. I think just seeing people be successful when everything they've been through and stuff. I think that's one of the coolest things.
I want to agree. And one of my favorite parts of being is just walking, say, for the Elam Center as an example, and you're down there getting ready for the game that night. There are a couple of players shooting. It's what happens away from the games that where you're like, wow, that's the day. And I've always heard that what you do when people aren't watching is going to be indicative of what you do when people are watching, and that applies to our athletes too.
Definitely.
But that's when things are really cool.
Yeah.
Favorite part about your job? Last one before we let you go.
Favorite part about my job? Honestly, I get to meet somebody new every single week. Yeah. Whether it's, visiting team, talking to bus drivers, I'm talking, you know what I mean? Like seeing new fans at the games. Like we have soccer, if it's raining and stuff and people need carted over to the other side, you're meeting them, you know what I mean? And so to me, it's just that human interaction, meeting new people, hearing new stories, just having that interaction.
How many contacts are in your phone? 1,000?
It feels like it. It really does.
I bet they are.
And everybody is, Fred from, here.
I've learned to do that, who this person is and what they are.
It's just first name and, like, Moorhead Soccer. It's like
Mac is still in my phone as Mac ESPN Plus. Yeah. That's literally what Mac is still in my phone. I don't have his last name. Jodie has a really famous person in her contacts list because she was on the Super Bowl trips.
Oh,
do you?
Yeah, Franco Harris is.
Oh, that's nice.
Before he passed, because
the deflection.
The limo driver couldn't use GPS and call me and stuff, and so he just called me. So and I actually had his wife's number too.
Really?
And I had to put Franco Harris's wife.
Hi, is this Franco Harris's wife?
Because she called me after the game, so
I've got a couple of really famous people, and I'm afraid I'm going to accidentally call them and not realize who they are. Does that bother you?
No.
Okay.
That's fine. If you call them, it's fine.
Okay.
It don't bother me. If you
Jodie
call
is the famous contact that
This is Chris Brinkley. Remember me from 2012?
The great thing about our school system is you can look up people's numbers if you need a student or something, but sometimes you don't know if the student put in their number or their parents' number.
That's true.
Yeah, no, that's
when I was teaching, I would get
mom.
it. Yeah, when I was teaching, I would get it.
Hello? I'm like, hey, are you?
So that's always.
I'm like, you missed this golf class. He's like, I worked the third shift.
Yeah.
Man, talking about phone, we had so many lost phones Saturday at the football game, and so thankfully the ones that aren't locked, I scrolling into like family group chat, and I'm like, hey, this girl. And one of the phones, this lady called, and I was like, hello. And she's like, is this a prank? I said, no, ma'am, it's not.
You really had several phones?
Yeah. She's like, that's my husband. He's with a friend. I'll tell the friend to come.
I hadn't thought about that.
That is so
you try to, like, usually it's got like a student ID or something, but yeah.
Superstar Jodie Duncan has joined us here on the
story
podcast.
in the history of the podcast.
Literally the best story in the
elevator
history of the
story.
podcast. I'm glad that it trumps anything that
Yeah.
the youth jokes that Coach Simpson throws at me every Monday. So for me, it trumps everything now. It is the best. Well, Jodie, thanks so
I'm
much
glad
for
they
joining
let you have
us.
a field trip out of school for this.
Wrap it up.
We're gonna
My
take a
people.
break, and then we're gonna.
I love all these
no,
people.
no, so
I love
forget
all
this.
these
No,
people.
no,
Kurt
forget
is so
this.
mortified right now.
We're gonna have Jason Simpson joining us here after the break on Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we are back here, final segment on Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast. David Gregory here with Chris Brinkley. Now joining us, head coach of the UT Martin football team, Jason Simpson, as the Skyhawks put an orange and blue bow on homecoming week with a 35-17 win over Gardner-Webb. Had a lead 35-3 going into that fourth quarter as well. UT Martin eclipsed 400 total yards of offense on the day, 235 on the ground, and then 4 rushing touchdowns and 35 unanswered points after Gardner-Webb scored on that opening drive. Coach, really good game from your team, really complete game from them.
Yeah, certainly for 3.5 quarters, very pleased with us. I was telling the staff today that, it's very good complementary football. They get off we missed a couple tackles, misfit a couple things. So to their credit, they kind of flipped the field. That, I guess it was the first drive there, and got their field goal. And, but to be able to answer back and run the football and control the line of scrimmage and make a few throws and, thought we played solid on special teams as well. So, for over 3 quarters there, I was very pleased with, with our football team and, the effort, the energy, very good crowd, and I appreciate that. So, there were some bright spots. There certainly was. There was some, the nice interception by O'Shea, good punt return by O'Shea. We got him the ball a couple plays on offense, and nothing really of any significance, okay, but something we'll continue to do going forward. I thought, Kincaid took care of the ball. I thought he made some good runs. He had 77 yards rushing, 160-something yards passing, so he's over 200 yards and took care of the ball. He did what we asked him to do in this game, and then the guys up front, as usual, Vance and Drake and Josiah and the tackles, opened up some running lanes for them, and the receivers blocked well. So there was a lot of positives.
And Kincaid came into this game with 0 rushing yards on the season.
Yeah, you called us off guard.
And then designed runs really for him, Coach, on the quarterback draw, and then threw a stiff arm, I think in the third quarter, had a really nice stiff arm. On the ground game, though, when he's able to get the legs going, it feels like it gets the offense starting to get into a groove.
Well, it makes us harder to defend, and they were a 4-man front, so in some of those 3-by-1s, the quarterback draw was available to him. There were some built-in throws because they were either 4-2 quarters, or they were going to be show you the 4-2 and bring the gut X, the 2 inside guys, and play cover 3. So it was built into where if they blitzed, you had a throw, and if they didn't blitz, then you had the draw. And so he executed pretty well on those and. And we played a lot of 3-down teams, and at times that's a little bit more physical run for the quarterback. That's not really his forte when it comes to, even though he is a tough player and can take some hits. We would rather be able to run some softer quarterback runs than having to have him, run over a linebacker. No, we want to be able to get his feet on the ground and slide or it's kind of first down, touchdown, get down type deal is what we ask him to do. So.
What skills does a quarterback need to be able to run the football successfully? I know that sounds like a silly question, but I know it's much more complicated than that.
No, it is. It is because there's so many different ways. There's, you've got the Jalen Milrose who are tailback, okay, and that's a problem as well because not only is he fast, he's tough, okay, so he can get up. Then you got the kid from Vanderbilt this week. Obviously they had a big win over Bama. he's not necessarily that fast, but he is tough and he's savvy, and you're looking for 3 and 4 yard runs, to keep the drives going and stuff. So I think there's a lot of different ways, and Kincaid, has his own style. And one thing I want to give Kincaid credit about is, I heard John at the end of the game talking about, Kincaid needs to complete some of those balls down the field. Okay, and that John and I talked about that, and I get that, and then Kincaid knows that. There was only one ball in this game plan, the way the game was going. There was only really one throw down the field, and actually Kincaid read it wrong. He should have thrown the stop into the boundary. He kind of forced that ball to Zoe. It was off of a double move. 2 high, that's where he was supposed to go. If the defense went to 1 high, the ball needed to go to the single receiver. All right, but, Kincaid has his own style. All right, as a starting quarterback here, I think I counted it up yesterday. I think he's like 11 and 3 versus FCS opponents. He won 8 games last year as a starter. He's won 3 games this year as a starter. He was benched. He was and but he's back in there now. He beat an FCS opponent, a FBS opponent, and then won another conference game yesterday. So I think I'm right on that. It's like 11 and 3 as a starting quarterback. All right, it's my job to put him in the situations that allow him to be successful. And, that's what we'll continue to do. Now, would we like to stretch the field? So there's some coverages we also are advantageous for that. Some are not. We also don't have Colton Dowell outside, running past people every other snap as well. So, anyway, I just want to take up, for him. I appreciate what he's doing for us, and he gives us an opportunity every week.
And Patrick Smith, 15 carries, 128 yards, and has the hat trick with 3 touchdowns, averaged 8.5 yards a carry, too. And Cheeks has been, I feel like we talk about him every single week, but he's been a true talent to this team and continues to run hard and also very patient, too.
No, he is, okay, and I'm glad to hear you say that, okay, because, he's upset at you. He's upset at you.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, I know it.
Yep, Chris.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
No, it was the run on the near sideline. He honestly, I thought he was gone, and then he gets down to the 30, and I go, unhitch the trailer, young man.
Yeah. All right. He's second in the league in rushing. Yep. Okay, he's got over 600 yards. Okay. We think he'll be the next 1,000-yard rusher. Okay, he has a certain style. Okay, Sam Franklin's probably the fastest back that we've had here. But all those runs in between the tackles, the patience that you talked about, the physicality that you talked about, that's Cheeks' forte. Okay, he gets those 4 and 5 yard runs when they're there, and and keeps us out on the field. And so, we need to appreciate Cheeks a little bit more. And
you need to make a phone call.
Patrick, I love you. I love you.
And if y'all want to go out there and race, okay, or I give y'all boxing gloves.
Oh, no.
And he will box you to sleep.
I've never heard that.
Look, I'm your only ally, okay?
I know. You're the one thing standing between me.
Y'all better get off Cheeks, and you better get off and understand. Those 2 guys, I appreciate them. And I know you do too, and I'm kind of busting your chops a little bit. But, no, he think he wants to score there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Yeah. And, but we're trying to find, Glover Cook, get him in there, and he's probably a little bit more long stride guy, and and he got 9 carries on the day, and he needs to get some more, because that needs to be kind of our 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and Coach, win number 118 for you in your career, so congratulations on that. Now in sole possession, 3rd place in OVC history. I know you don't like to talk so much about some of those things for you, but congratulations
a lot of wins,
on that.
Though, yeah.
Well, I saw that the other day, or Sunday when they tweeted it out, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and I was like, 118, that's more times than you've shaved in your life. Time 5 or something, but that's all right though.
He's gotten 2 in so far. 2.
I got some more.
One for Cheeks and then one right there too.
I think Cheeks is waiting outside for you, by the way. So, but I'm proud of that. No, I am. I'm proud of that because of all the friendships I've been able to make, the memories I've been able to be a part of. I think the only clothes I have in my, I have some church clothes, right, and dress clothes, and then UTM clothes.
Yeah, I feel like I always see you in that sweatshirt. It's the gray sweatshirt that says UTM with the football, and sometimes you go Navy.
They kid me. You want to buy some Westview gear. because my boys and daughter played there.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You're good.
You got your closet already full.
But I mean, it's been 19 years.
Yeah.
19 years, and it's hard to think of those other years right now. I want to get a win this week against Western Illinois on the road and get to the off week and get to 2-1 in the conference and then make it a 5-week sprint, for the end of the season. That's my mindset now. But I think, sometimes I slow down and I think about it and I say, man, how I'm very, very blessed and I appreciate, my family support through this because it's a joint thing. And, I was thinking today I'd like to see maybe – since Kurt and I have worked together, the 18 season was bad, okay, but our record, since being here working with Kurt and in the last 6 years, what it is compared to some of those other years, I bet you it's a pretty high winning percentage.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I appreciate everybody that's been a part of those 118.
And I think I said this on the air, but I might not have worded it correctly. They're not all just yours because they're the players and the assistant coaches too.
Right.
And we've had so many assistant coaches. And that's the part I want to compliment you on because you've been a leader to a different group of people every single year. So not only do you have to decide who those people are and convince them to come to UT Martin, but then you guys seem to work well and gel together rather quickly. And you're one of the best coaches I've ever seen in the history of coaching at doing that.
Thank you. That can be difficult, and there's a certain skill set that comes with that, or a certain belief system, and you have to bend a little bit, and you have to, but still have things that you believe in to make all that work. And that was good to get some texts from Chris Polizzi, who's the defense coordinator at Tulsa, and Jordan Hankins, the defense coordinator at Memphis, and different guys that have been here, and they all made a huge impact.
Let me ask you this: what have you learned from your assistant coaches?
Oh, tons more. Probably you said what's the number one thing? I would tell you X's and O's, right? I mean, from the standpoint of sometimes as a head coach, you don't have enough time, in the off season and stuff to go and study as much as you would like, okay? Because you got recruiting and then you've got discipline of your team and hiring coaches and different things. So I would tell you the guys that have come in here, I give them a lot of freedom, a lot of leeway to grow themselves, and then I benefit from that knowledge as they're teaching our players, and I'm learning new schemes and trying to be on cutting edge of different things and stuff.
Because I assume the weird part is you're bringing people in who think differently than you, and that's good. But you don't want them to think too differently from you where there's a divide.
Because they're usually all from somebody's different tree. Okay, that we grab from and stuff. And then there's other things too with different people that our assistant coaches have been with of how we handle players.
Sure.
Okay, and there's some that have been outstanding to where they don't underreact, they don't overreact. All right, because I tell them you can't make the head coach go stand in front of the athletic director or parents because of something you said. Okay, and players are going to be emotional. Players are going to be, same way when I was 18 to 22 years old as well. So there comes some professionalism. Even if you're 27 years old and you're the position coach, there's some professionalism, but yet demanding. Okay, and it's a fine balance that you're trying to get it from the player. So I've learned different ways to, as I've seen different. I thought Chris Polizzi did a great job of running our defense. I thought Jordan Hankins did a great job running our defense. Butcher's doing a great job with it. Kevin Bannon has been such an instrumental part of, he's probably one of the smartest coaches we've ever had here. Go look at how we've been able to run the ball in the past 10 years since Kevin has coached our offensive line. Every week I just wait on him to say, hey, these are the runs, this formation, okay? And if you really, Chris and Davis, if you had a chance to go and watch Josiah, Vance, and Drake and how they pick up different blitzes and communicate with each other and change the math on the run, It's really cool, guys. It's really neat. They're so smart, and that comes from Kevin Bannon and how he teaches it, and the amount of knowledge he pours into those kids. We're very blessed to have him as our offensive line coach.
And the offensive line, Gardner-Webb came in the most sacks in the conference, and they didn't sack Kincaid one time. That was really impressive.
Well, no, it was. And in the game plan, we had to get the ball out. You can't just stand there. They were 15 sacks, and as you saw it every other play, and sometimes 2 in a row, those inside backers came, and that's a version of 6 guys coming, okay? And you got 5 offensive linemen and a back, okay? So that means everybody has got a guy. And so, so you couldn't hold it too long, but it was some cover 3 behind it, 3 deep, 2 underneath. So Kincaid did a nice job getting it out of his hand, and that was kind of the game plan. You couldn't just sit there and hold sacks, take sacks.
Some other good performances. Jalen Sharp, game high, 3 tackles for loss. O'Shea Baker, coach talked about, an interception and a PBU. Gardner-Webb held to 157 yards through the air, 146 on the ground. You all went 10 for 16 on third down offensively. Everything I feel like that you said needed to be worked on got better this week.
Well, how about the biggest thing, 1 for 12 on third downs is what they were. Okay, so if you're not hitting any big plays, right? Because we won some games this year where we were 3 of 13 on third downs. Yeah. Okay, but if you scored 5 times on first down or 3 times on first down with some shot plays or something, you can mask that. Okay, but if you're not hitting those plays and then you're 1 for 12, you can't stay on the field, and the math's going to always get you when it comes to that. So proud of that. And they had a couple that got out late. We had some younger guys on the field, and and that's the thing too. The point we made today. Okay, it was your opportunity to play. We expect you to play well. We expect you to tackle and get guys on the ground and stuff, because there'll come a time when the game's closer, and we will need you in there. Okay, and sometimes when you're a 2, okay, that's great. But if you don't perform well late in the game like that, you may think you're a 2, but no, there's another guy that's a 2 at another position that may come get those reps when the game is on the line, okay? Yeah. So those are lessons got to be learned. And you know what? Those kids will play better the next time that they're in there. We could have kept the older unit and probably got out 35-3. But we still got 6 games left, and you need some other guys to play.
Well, I thank the team and everyone for saving me on Saturday.
Now, seriously, did Chuck really do the first 3 quarters?
No, he didn't. He did.
Can you prove that? I need to go back and listen to it.
He was PA announcing.
Was it?
He was on PA, yeah.
Well, I did see him. I see his little boy. He's there. So we rolled the dice, and you got a win under your belt, okay?
And the tingly sign. I'm
now,
good.
Seriously, now, how did you get that done, okay? All right? Are y'all that good of friends? You take them to dinner?
They listen to every game.
Do they?
They go to every home game, of course, but then they on the way home, and whenever they get back, they watch every single game of Chris and I and Haller calling the games.
You think Cheeks' parents make you a sandwich? They live in New Jersey. All right.
You are relentless.
So, Mr. and Ms. Smith, okay.
I love the Smiths.
I'll give you some email address if you need it. And we'll get any.
I think you need to go look him in the eye.
I need to. I know. Well, then he scored that 30-yard touchdown, and he broke away from everyone, and I was like, all right, there's the speed.
You're one of those guys. You're like, knew he was going to get in. No, he we hope we can get him to 1,000 yards. I think if he does,
you can.
Be proud. That'd be our 4th 1,000-yard rusher in 4 years in a row. And that's why he came here. I mean, he could have been on that Vanderbilt team Saturday.
That's right.
But he, wanted to get his carries his last year, and so I do appreciate that. And I think the offensive line likes blocking for him because, they know there's going to be some tough runs, and they can rely on him when it comes to that.
OVC newcomer Western Illinois this week. Yeah. We played them in 2022. Coming off their 2nd straight win, though, beat Charleston Southern at Charleston Southern 31-20. What's changed about them since that matchup in 2022?
Well, obviously in the league now. They've got a new coach. Was a former offensive coordinator at Eastern Illinois who did a nice job last year, right? They won 8 games. So when I watch him on tape, I see a very confident quarterback with good size and accuracy. They get the ball out of his hands. I think they're leading the league in completion percentage. Okay, so not going to allow you to just stand there and sack him. They're going to have different schemed up quick throws, and if you break tackles and kind of use it as an extension of the run game. And then when you play some man coverage, they're smart enough to know where the man-to-man coverage is. And so, that's challenging to us, okay? Obviously, we would rather you just run it, okay? But so they're going to challenge us in some coverages. Defensively, they're four-man front. There's a version of 7 men in that box, but yet it's a little unique because you'll see kind of the Will and the Sam kind of out of the box a little bit. So, but as soon as it's a run fit, boom, there's 7 of them back in the box. But from a pass standpoint, right, you high hat. There's quickly, there's quickly 6 in coverage quickly. Okay, the way it's designed, so it's kind of a bend don't break. It's unique from other blocking patterns that we've had this year. So that's what Sunday and Mondays are for, to try to put that together. Never been there before, so it's about a 6.5 hour trip.
Pretty good haul.
Yeah, 6.5 hour trip, so never been there before. So, have a good week, and, got an open week next week, and we need to heal some guys up. And but this week it's all hands on deck.
I love asking you strategy questions because you get a little nerdy, which means it's a part of the game you really enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're passionate about it.
That's the fun part, and actually as the offense coordinator, and I've got a really good staff. I mean, Danny with quarterbacks, and Nick Cochran, and of course Bannon and Cliff. I mean, they all come in there with different ideas, and I'm like, that looks really good. That's the idea this week. That's the, that's you're kind of the manager, and says, okay, these runs, this play action. The goal is don't waste plays. Okay, don't because we all got menu playbook this big, right? But the blocking patterns have to match. All right, you have to know out of two back, you got to run this way. You have to have a tight end on the field for this play. All right, because of the structure that they're in. And then the cat and mouse game of maybe they play something else. Maybe it's different. Now the cat and mouse is, can they stop all the different things with something new?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Or do they just stay with what they do and say, okay, we've practiced this more than you have, and we're going to do it better than you. So that's the strategy of it.
Is there more strategy involved in college or in the NFL based on?
Now, I've never coached in the NFL, but it appears to be in college.
Yeah, because
because two things. One, we don't have as much time.
Right.
Okay. Everything in the NFL, for the most part, is based on pass rush. Okay, and playing the run on the way to the quarterback as they rush. Okay, to where college game is and field position, right? Offensive, most games, right? They get 55 plays on offense because they huddle, right? They run the clock, they punt it, right? That's the way that an NFL game is built. Very rarely do you see very many 45-40 games in the NFL. College is based. Defense coordinators want to get tackles for loss. Okay, they want to get guys blitzes coming off the edge and stuff like that. In the NFL, quarterbacks are too good to do some of those kind of things.
Right.
And the receivers are too good. You can't touch the receivers after 5 yards. So therefore, there's a lot of too high shell, and you get very risky when you play, single post safety coverage. So I think more in college. But it is dumbed down a little bit because of the amount of time that you get to play with the kids. Therefore, that's why the tempo comes into play. That's why there's probably more screens or just perimeter throws and stuff because of the time and the multiplicity of defenses in the college. And when they play multiple defenses in college, you say, well, you just said they didn't have much time. Well, but they know different blitzes come out of them. And they're just trying to get the tackle for loss. They're not trying to survive and defend every play. They know that if you run it, there's an unblocked guy there. They know if you hold it too long, the sack is coming. And so where in NFL, the quarterbacks are too good. The good ones are. You can't be so risky like that.
Yeah. Makes sense. I knew that was the answer. I didn't know what the reasoning.
Davis didn't know, but you knew.
But it totally made sense. Yeah.
You probably just thought I was sitting here with the monkey and the symbols in my brain like that the whole time. I was just looking at my sheet like I'm trying.
On Madden or whatever NFL game, it doesn't go that in depth. I don't think so.
No, but that's one of my favorite things is on Thursdays after we get done talking, I'll ask Coach Simpson like, "Hey, I heard this. What do you think about this?" And then he'll give me the in-depth answer. I'm like, I love
it because you love it. I mean,
it gets you going. You get fired up talking about just football stuff.
No, that stuff is fun, guys. Because and I think back to when I was a young coach, and how these coaches that I hire are so much more advanced than I was. I was worried about which foot my receivers are supposed to have on the line, inside foot or or outside foot. Back then, right? You had VCR tapes, so it was hard to get the technology, right? I could pull up my phone right now. We probably could watch 10 different plays that somebody put out today and gave a description of.
Wow.
You didn't get those back, in the 90s and stuff. So,
but you're utilizing that.
Oh, absolutely.
As the third winningest coach now, because you're not complacent.
I don't know if it's I'm not complacent or just not very smart. It's one of the two. But no, absolutely. Yeah. Matter of fact, the touchdown that we threw. What we did last week was their style of defense. We were looking, okay, who else has played again besides the opponents, right? We'd already watched all that tape. What other college team plays that same structure of defense? Okay, Javon Craig, our tight end coach, right? He pulls up Memphis tape. He was at Memphis where he came here and played Arkansas State in that same style of defense. So we're watching it, and we're like, well, how did they attack it? Okay, remember, we've already got 4 or 5 games of opponents that played against Gardner-Webb, right? But that structure, what did other people do to attack that structure? We were on the phone with TJ Menifee, who used to be here, who's at Pittsburgh now, who that style of defense that they played is out of that same tree. He was telling us, here's what hurts us. Okay, so we're grabbing that knowledge. And then as we watched Memphis versus Arkansas State, that touchdown we threw to Dostin, Memphis ran that same play against Arkansas State.
That's 4 levels deep.
Right. Yeah. And so guess what? It went in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was called actually Bearcat, because I had seen Garoppolo when he was at Eastern Illinois. They used to run that same play. They would do it out of tempo against Cincinnati. I saw him hit it. Cincinnati Bearcats, right? So the whole play was called Bearcat.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We're waiting for a play to be named after us.
Wow.
That's what we're waiting for.
Well, you know what? There may be a 4th and 38 maybe named after you.
The play call is punt, a.k.a.
Davis.
No, we wouldn't even have to go that far. We would be like, you would just shout Davis, the Water Boys would come out.
Like what they call that on the Little Giants, like annexation
of Puerto Rico. Yes.
Yours will be unhook the trailer. How about that?
I love it. Yeah. I need a point up to the box whenever
he may actually turn around at you the next point.
He might. And listen, I hope he does. If he scores, let's go. I love it.
He's got some powerful arms, like I said. Box you to sleep.
Last one for you, Coach. What are you looking to improve on? You said the bye week.
Yeah.
Final game before that week off that I know you are looking forward to get healthy, get some rest for yourselves as well. And what are you looking to improve on here against Western Illinois?
Well, the first thing I think the bye week would do for us would the kids, the coaches actually kind of need a mental break. That's one of the best things about it. But right now, we'll have coaches leaving out, going to junior colleges, Kansas and Mississippi on Sunday and Monday, and then we'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But we'll have kind of a skeleton crew with the staff because the coaches will be spread out, and then it'd be just me and the coordinators there on Thursday. As we get a day ahead of Eastern Illinois, we play the next week, and the kids will be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. Right now we'll get through this game before we decide. What we need to spend our time on next week. But some of the obvious things are, continue to play better pass defense, okay? Continue to have better fundamentals at certain positions, okay? Continue to throw it, improve our passing game, to throw it when we want to throw it, not just when we have to throw it, okay? Just whether it be some, whether it be some spacing concepts, just the ball coming out of our hand quick, or some shots down the field, which you hit those right, then that's a 40-yard gain right there. So those will be some things. There's some younger players that are one ankle sprain away from having to play in some conference games that want to continue to get them some work as well. So, I don't know if I have one glaring, 4th and 1, we're going to improve our short yardage. No, it's different each week. Different things you improve on, different things you never have them mastered. So that's what we'll do next week.
Well, I got a trip up to Macomb on Saturday. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. And Patrick Smith. I apologize.
He's a good kid. He's very forgiving. So
okay,
I'm
all
sure
right,
he'll
good,
get past
good.
it.
I love
but,
Patrick Smith.
You know, you're welcome to ride on the bus with us, and maybe you and him can sit.
Okay, we'll reconcile. We'll watch film.
I look back there and he'll have you in a headlock.
My face is purple. Coach, please help me call the dogs off. Oh, Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Man.
Good luck
Appreciate
this
you.
week.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And that'll do it for yet another episode of Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory alongside Chris Brinkley. Fun episode. Of course, Coach Simpson putting the cherry on top of things. Another great episode, though. A fun time.
Yeah, be sure to check out utmsports.com. Follow us on all the social media outlets and hang out with us at Zaxby's on Mondays for the big podcast.
And it's going to be a great time next week. Make sure to tune in to all of our Skyhawk athletics throughout the week. And for Chris Brinkley, myself, Davis Gregory, all of our coaches and student athletes that have joined us, we will go ahead and put a bow on top of this one. From Zaxby's in Morton, Tennessee, it's Davis Gregory saying God bless.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.